Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bleacher Takes. It's your boys, Tim, Nate, Josh. We're all here. Believe it or not, it's the first stream in 11 days when you've had all three of us. We've all been pretty busy, got some things going on, but we are back talking together.
Back at it
Talking some
again.
sports here. Actually, I think 11 days ago, last time we talked, we had a very heated discussion. And so it was probably good to have a break from each other there for a little while.
Yeah.
But no, we're here to talk sports, here to have some fun. There's a lot of things
Probably
going
about the
on.
Grizzlies. Nobody's sharing love for the Grizzlies, and Josh probably had something stupid to say.
All right. Well, we're not going to continue that argument. So, but boys, what's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just living the dream, chilling, ready to talk some sports. I am excited that my Notre Dame put out the #1 team in the College World Series baseball tournaments.
Josh
So they're
put an
going
asterisk by that win, but yes,
going to Omaha. Yeah, Josh says because they lost their best player, but I'm gonna let you know
poop it in your cereal.
This Tennessee team, 57-9 in the regular season, 57-9. I mean, this team was stacked, man. I mean, there's like several MLB players on this team.
Well, and baseball is one of those sports where
It's not about one.
make or break
Yeah,
a
one
team.
player doesn't make a huge difference.
No,
Yeah,
which I wasn't saying that, but I'm just saying
I know.
they
When
just
did he
did.
lost their best players.
When did he
so.
get kicked
Didn't
out?
he got ejected and
In the
then
middle of
banned for a
the
game
Yep.
because he was arguing balls and strikes that cussed at the umpire, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Banned him for another game. Yeah.
Which I mean, he deserved it. Like it wasn't anything crazy. Out of the like, it wasn't anything crazy. But I was just saying, like, I was glad I was rooting for Notre Dame, Nate. If that makes you feel any better.
Oh, good.
But I was just saying, they did lose their best players. So
Yeah. Well, as we see, the best player of the last decade has been Mike Trout, and they have done nothing in the playoffs with him. So,
Josh,
we saw that.
Josh,
works.
you
Josh,
missed me, bud.
you, bro.
You
I
missed
have
the
a
game
yeah.
over there.
yeah, man.
I've been the consistent one here, but these guys have been missed, and so they probably don't even know. I'm going to introduce you guys. Josh, this is Nate, and Nate, this is Josh.
I was about to
guys,
say,
please meet
I hardly
me.
recognize you. You shaved your beard off. So
Yeah, he lost about 5 pounds on his face there. Yeah, but
A new
we got a lot
person.
to talk about, boys.
What are we
got
starting
the
with, man?
Mets and the Angels on Sunday Night Baseball. We're going to reference that here in a little bit. But I got that going on right now. The old Angels. They I did want to actually no, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll save that discussion for a second. But I do want to start with the Live League London, the first Live League tournament event, whatever you want to call it, was just played this past weekend. Charles Schwartzel takes home the victory, and I believe he got like a $4 million purse. You guys see that? That's pretty nuts. And do you guys? I mean, we talked about this a little bit before stream. You guys think this is good for golf?
Yeah, I do. As long as I didn't really know too much about it before, but I asked Nate a couple questions before we started, and if they could still play in the major tournaments, then I don't understand why it's a big deal. You know, like it's a new league. Okay, this could either, I mean, as of right now, it's has a lot of momentum, so it's probably going to last a while. But at the same time, who would have known how this would have like started or ended? You know what I'm saying? Like it could have either started real bad or.
Well, yeah. Last Sunday, Nate and I had a discussion, and I was like, it's kind of crazy. PGA hasn't really had much competition up until now, like because the way PGA structures things, nothing's really guaranteed. You don't have contracts. You're not guaranteed a salary. Basically, you have to win to get money, which is whatever. I mean, to be great, the best ones should be getting paid the most. But if you're an average golfer, they still need to fill those spots. They could fill them with Joe Schmo off the street, and he could look horrible in them. But these guys are professionals. They're real players who have a shot to go out there and win every time. But maybe they're, the second or third tier. Those guys are the ones who are really benefiting from this Live League. They're able to go over there, get the guaranteed money, get the guaranteed salary, and just chase the bag. I mean, isn't that really what we're all here for anyway? I mean, we talk about other professional athletes. We
money
talk about
talks,
guys.
man.
Yeah, right. We talk about other professional athletes. We don't ever dog a guy for taking the most money, right? I mean, if a guy take for example Aaron Judge, they offered him a $210 million extension, but he was like, I'm going to bet on myself, and this year he's probably going to get 300 mil. And if he goes and the Red Sox give him the most money, I mean, how can you hate on that guy? I mean, I would not like it as a Yankees fan, but as an athlete, he's got one chance to get that big payday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you say, oh, I'm going to sacrifice 50, 70, 80 million dollars to stay with a team who doesn't want to pay me what I deserve or what top of the market is. So, I mean, when it comes to golf, it's the same way. And in golf, you don't have a whole team that you can rely on, a team that you can market yourself with. You're yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does come down to just.
We had that conversation too. Yeah, basically, yeah. If you're a middle of the road golfer and there's 162 guys in the PGA Tour that are teeing off, and you're middle of the road, you're going to get money. You don't get any money for joining. Like, Bryson DeChambeau, I just saw he gets $100 million just for like saying, "Yep, I'm going to play and live golf." I might get last place every single time, but dude's walking away with $100 million just for joining live golf.
Bryson joined it.
Bryson DeChambeau just joined it.
That's why Patrick Reed just joined it too.
Yeah. Patrick Reed just joined it.
Big names.
I mean, you're gonna have people that are gonna. Oh yeah, I mean, and I think it's great for the sport. And I know that some people like we saw like Rory McIlroy. He's not a big fan. Justin Thomas, not a big fan. Those are guys that are big PGA Tour guys, and we're gonna have some guys that are like rival it. But honestly, I go back to why can't we just like have some things with live golf and PGA, like bring the best like and do things together, like. Here's the thing that you think of. What's the biggest world sport or just what's the biggest sport in the world? Soccer, right? How many leagues in soccer are there? MLS is not the biggest league. It's probably the English Premier League. Like that's with Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United. Those guys are making probably 5 times what dude at Sporting Kansas City or Josh, your team, Portland Timbers. Those guys are probably making 5 times more Arsenal, than what they are in America. You know what I mean? But America's getting more money. You know why? Because more fans are starting to fill the seats. It's becoming a bigger sport. And as they're starting to get paid more, you're going to have guys such as, there's been some.
Who was that one a couple of years ago that played with LA?
Guy with the ponytail. I want to say Zabinajad. Zlatan.
Zlatan Abramovich or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Zlatan.
But they paid him a ton of money.
LeBron James of soccer, right? That's what.
They paid him a ton of money, and he actually went back. He's not on MLS anymore. But it's like, but then you have these tournaments where it's like MLS and another league do like these in tournaments, and it's just so cool because here's the thing. It's such a huge sport. And that's the thing about golf as well. Like when we watch the PGA Tour, you're seeing people from tons of nationalities come and play golf. Like golf is huge in Japan. Golf is huge in other parts in the world. So I don't see why, if it's a Saudi Arabia-based area, what if another country says, hey, let's start this league and get a few golfers?
It's just going to grow the sport.
Yeah, exactly. And that should be, as a player, as a golf player, that should be your number one priority, is to help the growth of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Because it might make PGA Tour be a little more competitive and say, hey, let's start paying our guys more to compete because we want to keep really big top names. It
only helps the player, man.
Because there's so many golfers live golf. Like they want to keep top names. What if another, World Golf Tour, WGT or whatever, I'm just naming out something. What if they start something that's based out of Japan and like all these leagues are coming up and they have, because there are so many golfers, like they might have, 20 to 30 top names from each league, but then we could say, hey, let's bring all these guys together for like this big tournament. Like that would be cool for them.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
With the majors
instead of looking at it as like competition, like PGA, like hating live and live hating PGA. Like I know like they're not happy because PGA is losing a lot of money and they're going to lose some viewers because I'm a huge Bryson fan. I want to watch Bryson. I want to watch Dustin Johnson. I like Rory too. And I like other golfers as well. But you have these young guys that look at Koepka and DeChambeau and like,
even old guys with Phil.
Tiger Woods is getting old, like, and obviously I love watching Tiger and like, I'm going to be sad when he's gone forever. But these young golfers coming in, they're looking at these guys saying, so I think PGA knows that they're going to have to do something. But I agree with Josh. Long story short, I think it's great for the league. I hope that one day they work together, and I hope Live Golf works. I hope that they have the backing. I hope they find some TV endorsements so that they can.
I think they will. I mean, when you think about like take college basketball for example, the NIL, the new name, image, likeness stuff. There's teams that are going to have some national viewership this year that usually wouldn't because they were able to pay a player to come play on their team, and the national news wants to see said player play, so they're going to play Liberty University's basketball. I'm just using that example, but you know what I mean. And so Live League, it's only going to get more popular because as they sign Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, all these guys, us as a viewer, we want to see them. We want to see them on TV. and I think somebody's going to reach out to him, and they're going to get a TV deal done for sure. And I do think it will make for interesting, like the Masters tournaments. You know, when they go and do the Masters, you're going to have some PGA guys, some Live League guys. There's going to be some
a little bit of a rivalry
there. Yeah, and I think you might even see some teamwork. You know, obviously golf's not a team game, but you know, you'll see guys like rooting for their guy from Live because they want a Live guy to win it, or they want a PGA guy to win it. They want to have those bragging rights. They want to have those. So I think it's going to be fun. It's good for the sport, I think, for sure. So I'm definitely interesting. Yeah, their next one is in Portland. It's June 30th to July 2nd.
That's awesome.
At Pumpkin Ridge.
And it sounds like these guys are going to be able to play the next U.S. Open. I think is the next major tournament, and they're going to allow them to play. And it sounds like that the other three major, what I saw in an article, we were talking about that before show, but the other three major, like the Masters and stuff, it sounds like that they're going to let them play in those as well, since those are not PGA Tour events.
The U.S. Open. U.S. Open starts this weekend.
Tour. Yeah,
U.S. Open starts 16th.
I think all these players, or at least the main ones that have gone to Live, like the main guys that would qualify, sounds like they'll be able to play in the U.S. Open, that they're going to let them play, which I think is important. And I think that PGA is going to look at that and be like, ooh, yeah, like we're going to have to, because we want to keep our big names too. And I think golf is such a big enough sport that, you know, like I said, I think we'll have name brand guys. We could have name brand guys on both sides, on both leagues, PGA and Live, and it'd just be awesome to see them work together.
So I saw that Tiger Woods turned down a deal from them, right?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, he would obviously be the biggest.
So with everybody leaving the PGA, does this open the door for Woods to win more major tournaments? Or
I hope so.
Maybe. Did you see how much money he allegedly turned down?
Yeah.
Close to $1 billion. Like they said, it was definitely over 900 million. Like
dude's a billionaire already.
But yeah,
dude gets so much endorsement though.
Like, dude ain't heard for money. I was like, that's it.
I know, but he's a billionaire. I mean, that doubles his net worth.
True. Yeah.
Hey, LeBron's.
But I mean, it's insane. That's insane though. Like, but that's the thing about this Live League though. They're backed by the Saudi people, you know, like the Saudi people, and they have literally untapped amount of resources, and they're not in this for a profit. They're in this to just make another competitive league. So the amount of money they're going to be able to pay some of these guys, which we've already seen. A guy like Dustin Johnson, yeah, he's a great golfer, but dude got paid $140 million to come to this league. Like,
and Bryson 100.
Why are you saying no to that? I mean,
no, for real.
You know what I mean? Phil, his was over 200, wasn't it? Like, it was just some crazy numbers. So I think it's good for the sport. I'm happy to see it happening, and pretty cool to see. I think some of the old heads obviously don't like it. They're all, you know, PGA for life, but I don't know. I think it's good to see it changing. But speaking of old heads, we're going to move on to the MLB, and I have this titled in here, Out with the Old Heads, because we've seen some old managers getting fired here recently.
Thank God.
Joe Girardi out as Phillies manager. He's probably 10 years behind.
Didn't the Phillies win like 6 or 7 games in a row? I don't know.
And there was comments by Bryce Harper saying that they're happy now that they can just let the young players play, that before there wasn't a lot of opportunity for them, or basically just saying Joe wasn't real fond of the young players. Was more of a veteran type guy, but his leadership skills and his game management is probably 10 years behind. I watched him with the Yankees for a while, obviously, and we definitely moved on for a good reason. Do I think he can still manage? Yeah, but he needs to change the way he does. And Joe Maddon is a good manager, I think. I think the Angels just went on a pretty big skid there. And yeah, he made some questionable decisions in those games, but his was kind of more he was an inherited coach. You know what I mean? Like, they changed their general manager, and a lot of times when a team changes general manager, they want to have like their coach in there. And Joe Maddon was not the selected guy by the general manager. So basically, if they had any type of slide like this, Joe was gone. And that's what happened. And they came out with this story today that was kind of sad. Apparently, Joe, let me see if I can find it real quick. Joe Maddon had apparently cut his hair into a mohawk to like make the clubhouse light up a little bit and like just have some fun while they were on that losing streak. Before he could go into work that day, they fired him. So dude got fired. He's got a mohawk. I'm like, dang, that's tough. But
honestly, it just falls back always to the manager. Like, honestly, what are you going to do? Fire your $100 million players? And like, you can't,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you're not going to do that.
And honestly, it sucks.
But a lot of times, though, when you go on those slides, though, you'll fire like a pitching coach or a hitting coach or something. But they were kind of faltering all areas. And like I said, anything to get Joe out of there was probably in the general manager's mindset. So,
and if Joe Girardi, obviously, you said that Bryce Harper said that, you know, there wasn't a lot of ways that they could connect. But like, if Joe Madden was, so like, it wouldn't be the case for the Phillies. But the case that I'm putting forth, like for Joe Madden, like let's say like the players really liked him, like that's a way to let the players like know, like, hey, the way you guys are playing, you just cost this guy his job. Like, it's time for you to wake up now and play some ball, like play some baseball. You know, so I mean, that could be the case for Joe Madden if he was well respected or liked by the players, and like they're like they come in the morning, they're like, oh my gosh, he's done, you know, because he'll probably get a job somewhere if he wants to still be in the game.
If he wants to, yeah,
he's gonna find something. But it just kind of let the players know, like, hey, you know, it's time to get serious, and you know, we're a top team, and you know, we got dudes picking us to win the World Series or to go to the World Series, like Josh, you know, this sports expert take that, you know, Mr. Kermode had. So we got to wake up and like play some ball. You know what I mean?
And I think a lot of it too has to in baseball now, and even in all sports, really. You see it in basketball. You've seen it in the NFL with like Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury. Some of these young coaches, they're giving young coaches these opportunities because I think that they can really connect with them. They can connect with the players and kind of light a fire under them. A lot of these old-time managers don't do as well nowadays because they can't connect to them. And you're a professional athlete. You don't want to get screamed at all the time and be harped on by a guy who hasn't played baseball in 50 years. You know, it's something that I think a lot of players keep in the back of their mind. And it's a lot of times it's just younger guys like Aaron Boone. When he came to the Yankees, he had only been removed from playing for like 6 years. And he was in the ESPN booth. And you see that around the league with a lot of other guys too. But one that I think is pretty interesting, Tony La Russa. He's the manager of the White Sox. And you guys are obviously pretty familiar with him, as he was a longtime Cardinal manager and did a lot of great things with the Cardinals. But a guy that I think should have stayed retired because it looks like he just can't really motivate and inspire a team anymore. These White Sox
have a World Series roster, yo. Like, they shouldn't be.
No doubt.
Right now,
no doubt. The Yankees have played them a couple times, and they just look like they're not very inspired. Doesn't look like they really care out there. They're 4 games under 500 right now. They're 27-31 with the roster that they have, and they're negative 56 in the run differential. Like, they're not a good team. They're not playing like a good team. They have a really good roster, like you said, but they're just not playing well. And it's just something that they say, you know, their manager, Tony La Russa, just doesn't really do it for him, which I kind of thought was a weird hiring anyway. And now you guys see that in Chicago fire La Russa.
Did you guys see that call he made this weekend?
Yeah.
With the 2 strikes.
Two strikes, and then he intentionally walks Trey Turner, and then Max Muncy goes up and hits the 3-1 bomb.
I didn't understand. I heard what he was trying to say, but at the same time, you have 2 strikes on the guy. Isn't your goal to strike out batters? Like, and then he was trying to say how the numbers with Trey Turner.
Well, yeah, 2-strike approach is a lot different than 0-0. You know, I mean, in the count.
Right. I mean, you got 2 strikes. Well, if you don't want him to hurt you, don't throw a strike. Just try to make him chase. He might chase at it, and he's got great discipline. So maybe you would have walked him. Maybe you could have fooled him, made him swing over the top of it, hit into a ground ball in the inning, or swing over top of it, strike out or something. You know what I mean? But it was strange.
We got 2 strikes on somebody. Usually they're choking up. They're just trying to make contact. You know what I mean? And Trey Turner, he's a guy that probably is going to make contact, but I mean, he's not going to go for the fences on 2 strikes. You know what I mean?
So, right. Yeah. And so then you walk him with 2 strikes, intentionally walk him and bring up Max Muncy, who to that point had been struggling and just came back off the IL, but still, I mean, Max Muncy's one of the better hitters in the league.
White Sox have a lot of, I don't know. I feel like the White Sox have a lot of people that won't mesh with or doesn't mesh with La Russa's style. You know what I mean? Like, the White Sox have a lot of guys such as like Tim Anderson or whatever that like, where they're like, you know, bring more emotion to baseball.
How does that guy really mix with La Russa?
Bring more competitiveness, like, we'll get away from the old school, but like, let's stop, baseball's too soft. Like there's guys that are like wanting to.
He kind of wants it how college baseball is right now with all the emotion and stuff like that.
Exactly. And I actually saw something
it's marketable. It's better for the sport to be that way.
Yeah.
That's why they said that college baseball, like Tennessee and some of these teams, when I was watching something, we probably caught the same thing, Josh, when they were saying like that's what's putting people in the ticket or the seats is like these guys are fired up and like, they had to warn both benches. I don't know. I did see that with Notre Dame and Tennessee today.
Yeah.
There was like a little scuff up and a little push and shove. And it was just like, these guys are fighting for a chance to go to Omaha, which is where they all meet to win a championship. There's 8 final teams left. I mean, let the people play with emotion. That's something that Trevor Bauer, obviously he can't play. And I followed his YouTube channel. He has his own brand and he has, shirts and stuff that he makes and hats that, says bring more emotion to baseball. And he's like, I'll talk trash. But here's the thing, like he can take it too. He'll talk trash to everybody, but he'll own up and say, if somebody hits a home run off of me, that's fine. I'll let you do your little home run trot. Like bring home run trots back. When he strikes somebody out, he's got his little sword celebration and all this stuff.
The little
which I think is great.
Joey Batista bat flip type moments.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what baseball's about, man. I mean, we want the kids in the next generation to play this sport. We want this to not be a dying sport. For a while they were saying baseball's dying. But you got to allow stuff like this to happen. You got to allow people to have fun because kids aren't going to want to play this if it's buttoned down and just, you know what I mean? Because in the NFL, you see those guys doing touchdown dances. You see Steph Curry shimmying after every 3 he hits. Like kids want to play that. They want to do that. They want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's cooler than throwing your bat a cool way? You know what I mean? Like that's pretty cool. Be able to flip your bat because you just hit a walk-off dinger or just a big home run. Like there's nothing cooler than that. So let them be that. And I think guys like La Russa they're more old school, which is okay. But you can see guys who were old school who let the game like evolve and they evolve with the game. Like Buck Showalter right now on the Mets. I thought it was kind of a weird hire because he is one of those old school guys. But watching him with the Mets this year, he has really morphed and became more of like a new school type manager, even though he's old. Because if you want to stay with something, even in any company you're with, you can't.
You have to evolve to your surroundings, yeah.
Because otherwise, you might have been the best at what you did 30 years ago, but if you don't adapt to what you do now, you won't have a job.
Yeah, you can't coach the same like different teams the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
no doubt.
I don't know. Like you have to evolve to what your team's good at and stuff like that, and the type of energy that your teams and the players take away from certain things that you do as a coach. So
I mean, the rules are still the same. Baseball is still the same. They haven't changed the rules, but the way you play it, they have. Like even more nowadays, I don't think managers make as much decisions as people like really think they do. You know what I mean? When they talk about warming up a guy or bringing a guy in this situation, like they do, but the front office kind of mends and melds those together, especially like the highly analytical teams like the Rays, the Yankees, stuff like that. But like a lot of times they're just for player support. Like Aaron Boone, he doesn't really care if people get under his skin, but he gets ejected for his players' sake. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go argue this because Aaron Judge won't. He's not going to get ejected from the game. He's too valuable. So I'm going to go out there and scream in your face for it. And that's what you need in today's managers. You got to have somebody who really relates to the players, really sticks up for them, and kind of almost more like a big brother role. You know what I mean? Just be that guy who can kind of all right, man, let's go, pick it up. Kind of scream in your face a little bit, but also can be there with your ups and your downs. Like some of the best managers in baseball are the ones who are celebrating with the team whenever they hit a home run. These old school managers sit there with no emotion. I just don't think it's good for the sport. So. I don't know. There's been a lot of change in there. I think there's going to continue to be. We got on our little soapbox there, but I think it's good to have those discussions. But there was a couple big series this weekend. The Tampa Bay Rays played the Minnesota Twins, and the Twins took 2 out of 3. They won game 1 and game 2, 9-4 and 6-5. And then the Rays won today. They took the last game of the series, ensuring that they wouldn't get swept.
Shut him out.
Jeffrey Springs, he twirls a pretty good game as he makes a transition to a starter role. Tampa Bay has had a lot of starters get hurt this year, so they're kind of mixing and matching guys into a starter type role. They're always doing weird stuff over there in Tampa Bay anyway, so it's nothing different for them. But they shut out the Twins, and the Twins have been pretty hot on offense lately. They definitely were against the Yankees, so it was really good to see, or it was good for the Rays to see Springs have that good game and them shut them out. But like I said, Twins did take 2 of 3 in that series. Another really big series. The Giants played the Dodgers, and this one seemed like it was going to be a really good series. And the Giants swept the Dodgers. The Dodgers came into San Francisco, and the Giants made a statement. They swept the Dodgers. They had good pitching. Good pitching was the theme on Sunday as well. Rodon, he threw 6 scoreless and struck out 8. And I believe the Dodgers only had 5 hits in the game. But Urias, he struck out 10 in 6 innings, had a really good start, but he gave up 2 home runs in the first inning to the Giants. And that's all they needed. Scored 2 in the first, and that was it.
Struggling right now, man. And they got scored by the Pirates not too long ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this brings the Dodgers 3.5 back in the division. So, I mean, the Giants are right there. Padres are halfway back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in here in just a minute. But, yeah, the Dodgers
lost 2.
They have the work cut out. Dodgers might be the best team in baseball. Obviously, probably have the best roster.
Behind the Padres, or?
I think the Padres are there, but don't
Padres don't even have Tatis right now. That's crazy.
Don't sleep on the Giants either. Like, the Giants are going to be.
No, that, like we said before, that whole division is freaking nuts. They're
all competing to see who loses in the World Series against the Yankees. So I don't really care who it is.
Wait, what?
What? But it's a crazy division. Like I said, I mean, their top heaviness of that division is insane. Obviously, the Rockies and the D-backs have kind of fallen off in that division. But I mean, they're still not that bad. I mean, D-backs are 9 games back, and Rockies are 10.5. I mean, it's a really, really good division, and it's going to be fun to watch. Fun to watch the summer games and into the fall to see who really takes this division. But I think it's going to be a race the whole year. I don't think anybody's really going to run away with it. You might have to win 110 games to win that division. Like, it's going to be insane. And then Sunday Night Baseball, the Mets are at the Angels. This series is tied 1-1. The Mets won Game 1 7-3. The Angels won Game 2 11-6.
Yeah, they're best.
Jared Walsh had a cycle. Did you guys see that?
I did see that.
Yeah, he had a triple for his in his last at bat, a diving play by I think it was Marte playing center yesterday. Maybe it was Nimmo. Diving play that they missed and it rolled to the wall, and he got a triple out of it. Pretty impressive to see. You don't see a whole lot of cycles nowadays. There's not a whole lot of triples hit anymore. Guys, just hit those gaps and stop at second, because unless there's 2 outs or something, I mean, there's not a huge advantage from a double to a triple. But it is cool to see when that happens. But tonight, Patrick Sandoval versus Taijuan Walker, 2 guys who have had some very, very good years. I think Taijuan was a 2.95 ERA, and Sandoval was like a 3.3 coming into the night. But Trout had an RBI single. Mets had RBI double from Marte and a home run from J.D. Davis. And then they just scored in the top of the 7th to make it 3-1. They had a infield single by Alonso, and Marte scored on an error. So 3-1 Mets right now. They're trying to take that series. The Angels are trying to come back from dead. Lost, I think what their losing streak ended up at was at 12 or something. It was like 12 or 13 in a row, and they're trying to come back, but they really need to win this game here to spark it for them. No Ohtani though. No Ohtani on Sunday Night Baseball. That's kind of sad to see. They just gave him a day off, so we're gonna see.
He probably needs it. He does too much.
Yeah. Did you guys the other night, or I guess not the other night, his last start, he had like 7 innings pitched of shutout ball and had a home run in the game or something. The guy's incredible.
Like he
the stuff that guy can do.
Threw a pitch at 101 and
then
hit a home run at 104. Like,
yeah, like I saw that tweet and it was like Babe Ruth didn't do this. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Babe Ruth didn't do that. They talk about Babe Ruth being a pitcher and a hitter, but throwing that hard.
I hope we see more hitters and pitchers like that, man. Like, honestly, like, don't you guys, like, there's so many talented people. You can't tell me that if that was a popular thing that we probably would have more of those people out there. You know what I mean? Like, there's some freak athletes out there that can probably hit good, field, and pitch, like, at a consistent way. I mean, I think it's just
Hunter Green was supposed to be that on the Reds, but they stopped him hitting, and now he just pitches. But
was that? Yeah, but I think with what was that? The Ohtani rule or something like that allows them to pitch and DH or something like that.
Yeah, basically they can still like hit if when they come
With
out,
that,
they can switch positions.
With that rule, I mean, we could.
I think probably will, yeah.
Yeah, we could see more.
But it takes a certain type of body, though. I mean,
for sure.
It's not something that we're going to be like one guy on every team. No, you're going to have maybe a couple in the league at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 20 years from now, we'll see quite a bit more. But
I'm hoping we see more of it, though. I'd love to see that, honestly.
For sure.
It is pretty cool. Yeah,
fun, man. I mean, because I know there's just some freak athletes out there that, like I said, if this is kind of being a popular thing now, that we might see more of it because, guys only contributing every 5 or 6 days pitching like that. Imagine if we didn't have Ohtani, a hitter and fielder as he is. You know what I mean? Like, we'd be missing out on his smooth swing and stuff like that. And I know Lorenzen, Michael Lorenzen's been somebody that's fielded a few times. I forgot who he played. He used to play for the Reds in the Central, but I don't know where he plays now. Honestly, I forgot. He might be in the minors. I know he wasn't he's kind of been. He might be
out west. Yeah, he is on the Angels. Yeah,
I feel like he's got tossed around a little bit, and he's not like. I mean, he's just not like Ohtani's talent. But I do love seeing that, and I hope later in life that
he's had a really good year this year. 3.45 ERA in 60 innings. But yeah, I'm also waiting to see like the guy who isn't a starter who comes in and he's like, your fourth, fifth hitter in the lineup, and then he comes and closes out the game for you. Like comes in the 9th inning and just shuts him down. Like I'm ready to see that guy. You imagine like if Giancarlo Stanton or some huge guy like that is a hitter and then he comes onto the mound. You know what I mean? Like that'd be insane. I mean, that's basically Ohtani. Ohtani's way bigger than people realize. Like that guy's huge.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to see that role too. But man, these Angels, man, I'm ready to see them in the playoffs. I want to see these guys compete in the playoffs. They got such good players and they finally have good pitching this year. So I don't know. That American League, they really dropped a lot of games. They're 8.5 back from the Astros, and the American League looks like all of its wild card teams are going to come from the East. So I don't know how the Angels really have a path right now. They're going to have to go on a pretty big winning streak to make up.
Yeah, I wish we didn't really do them too early World Series picks. So,
hey, dude, it's June 12th. There's a lot of baseball to be played here.
Do we have a special guest right now?
Oh my Lord,
we have a special guest on stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude was wanting to be on stream. He was like on your bed, staring at your camera. Man, we're about
to he does that.
Hey, you know what? For sponsorship, Petco.
Oh, hey, yo, Petco. Yeah, it's a good sponsor.
Get at us here. Get at us. I'll eat dog food on stream for that. But we got a little standings alert here. Yankees.
Some pepperonis.
Man, I'm really sick and tired of having to say this every time. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. Okay. Yankees 44-16. I mean, they have a 740% winning percentage, and it's June 12th. And today, Josh,
that's time. That's time for the Yankees talk. That's time. We're done.
No, we're not done yet. Josh, did you see today's score?
No, I saw it was like, wasn't it
18-4 against the Cubs today?
Dude, I think I saw it was like 17 or something.
They're playing a minor league team in the Cubs.
A minor league team.
And you guys got the Cubs, like literally the worst thing the Cubs can't even do. Matt Carpenter has tore up the Cubs his whole life.
Matt Carpenter had 7 RBIs today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys had the best player like that plays against the Cubs in history.
We had 4 home runs today, and 2 of them came from Matt Carpenter, and 2 came from Kyle Higashioka, who I'm sure you guys have no clue who that is.
How many home runs does Matt Carpenter have now for you guys? Like, is that 9 or
7,
something?
I think.
That?
6,
is it 7?
No, it's like 7. It's like something like that. Yeah, but that's all he does. He has 6 or 7 home runs as a Yankee, and his only other hit is an RBI, or was a bunt single. Like, he's just hitting bombs, but he's a left-handed bat in Yankee Stadium. It's perfect.
Well, yeah, he's got the right area. But I mean, I like that.
But he's not even hitting porch. I mean, this guy's hitting bombs. So yeah, I just think he might have got his swing right, and the Yankees, everything's just going right for him right now. Like, it just feels like everything's going right, and it's just kind of scary to me because, everything's going right now. I don't know, are you peaking too early, but it's baseball. So they're and they had some bad pitching outings from in the Twins series, and even during the Cubs series, there was times when pitchers just had some cracks in their armor. Garrett Cole got lit up by the Twins, but we still won that game. We were down 7-3 in that game, came back to win 10-7.
So it just seems like everybody in your guys' lineup is also hitting.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of feeding off people's energy, and I think Judge is really leading the team and just really being
hit a what was it, 120 off of the
119.8
against the Cubs. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
man.
Well, a funny story about that actually, because I know you guys all really care about this, but to start off the game, second pitch of the game, Aaron Judge hits a home run, and their lead 1-0. Later in the inning, Stanton hits a fly ball out to center field to the back of the warning track that Cubs, I forget his name, Cubs center fielder, rookie guy, he's pretty good. No, the
rookie,
Morrill, yeah, that guy. Yeah. He jumped up, made a pretty nice play on Stanton's hit, and it wouldn't have been a home run, but it would have been like off the wall, like, and drove it to the deepest part of the field. And the Cubs tweeted, they said, Yankees fans think everything is a home run. And literally 30 minutes later, we were winning 6-1 because we had just hit 6 solo shots. And the Yankees Twitter tweeted back at them and said, why do you think they do? Like, we just torched you guys, hit a whole bunch of bombs off you. And I thought it was pretty funny. And Stanton's second at bat, after they tweeted that at him, he hits that 120-mile-an-hour home run. So, and he hit it off like off one of the balconies, and it shoots way back on the field. Like, it was nuts. But yeah, they're crazy. The team continues to mash home runs. That's kind of the story, and they're pitching good, and they're getting some timely hitting right now. So they're playing very well. In the AL Central, the Twins are 35-27. The Guardians are 3 back from them. And you know, the Twins, they're trying to keep float. They probably aren't the most talented team. Obviously, the White Sox are the most talented team in that division, I think. But they've
hopefully they'll get it right. But Kopech just got injured. I saw too. That's not good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the story of his career, huh? The dude gets hurt a lot. Yeah, but I will say the story for the Twins is Luis Arias. You guys looked at this guy's stats this year? This guy, Luis Arias, is their second baseman. He's leading baseball in batting average. He's batting .359 on the year. And he's only got 3 home runs, 19 RBIs, but he's typically their leadoff hitter. Just gets on base all the time. You got a leadoff hitter batting .360? Like, come on. Good things are going to happen, obviously. And surprised to see them doing as good as they are. Correa has been a nice addition for them. He had a 2-hit day today from what I saw. But yeah, the Guardians are 3 games back, and they just gotta continue to play well and make it to the playoffs, where they will probably lose again to the Yankees, because it feels like every playoffs the Twins play the Yankees and they lose. So pretty funny there. But in the West, we already talked about the Angels. They're 8.5 back from the Astros, who kind of had a formula change this year. You know, in the past, obviously they've hit a lot of home runs. Obviously, they were getting kind of a little help from the trash cans. But even since then, they've been a very good hitting team. This year, they're very middle of the pack. I think they were like 18th in runs scored. They're still hitting a few home runs. I think they're like 10th or 9th in home runs. But they aren't scoring a lot of runs. They aren't getting on base at a very high clip. They're not very good hitting-wise, but their pitching is fantastic. And they're kind of running away with that division because the Angels went on that big slide. The Mets, they're up 3-1 right now, and they're winning the East 39-22 is the record. But the Braves, man, have you guys seen what the Braves have been doing lately?
Won 11 in a row.
11-game win streak. Yeah. And now they're only 5 games back.
But the Braves should have been good. I mean, they traded Freeman for Olsen, but I mean, which is, I mean, it's not a huge downgrade. I mean, I know Freeman is nasty, but Olsen is insane.
Pretty good himself.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a little bit of a step down, but not much. I mean, you're going to probably have a step down from Freddie Freeman. There's not very many first basemen with the talent like he does, but
and obviously
there is one. Matt Olson's right there.
Acuna, he missed a good portion of the beginning of the season, so I mean, having him back is huge as well. I mean, dude's one of the best players in baseball, in my opinion. I love
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and this is one of those teams too that they have an older manager, Snitker. He he's older, but he apparently had a team meeting and lit a fire under the team before this winning streak, and they won 11 straight games. So he's obviously doing something right. Uh, so it's really cool to see. I think it's good to have division races like that. Obviously, it's not fun to watch divisions like the Yankees where they're running away with it, even though they're in a great division. But like or in the West where it looks like every other team just stinks and the Astros are good.
Yeah.
Like it's not fun to watch that, but it's fun to watch divisions like the NL West or the NL Central where you have 2 or 3 teams really battling for it. And we thought that was going to be the NL East this year, with the Mets, Braves, Phillies, even the Marlins. Like the Marlins we thought were going to be a pretty sneaky team coming into the year. Nate, I think you even picked them to be a sneaky wild card team coming into the year.
Yeah.
They've had some good pitching from Lopez and Alcantara, but just a pretty subpar division so far. But the Braves are really turning it on, and they're coming for those Mets, man. 5
Some of
games
those
back.
guys, I think if Albies can get it going in Ozuna, those are the 2 guys I think that are underperforming right now, just in their average and OPS. But I mean, if those guys can get it going, which Dansby Swanson, I know when he used to come, he wasn't like known for his hitting. He was more of a fielder. But he's having a great year, and I think if they can get some contributions from the Braves, I think they're a great team, and they're starting to figure it out. But speaking of the Marlins, when you're talking about the Marlins, did you guys see that? Somebody Instagram or who was it? Like their manager was mad at him or something like that. I don't know.
They called him like Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman,
yeah. And
which what were they? I don't understand what they were trying to get at by saying
that he's too much of a distraction. I think is what they were trying to say,
basically. But I liked what
the dude dyes his hair or something or what?
Yeah, that he has a personality.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. That's the old school baseball motto. You know what I mean? Like let these guys. Dude is a freak athlete, and dude's insane, man, at baseball. And he's got a lot of swagger, but if you can back it up.
The Marlins manager is Don Mattingly, which, again, an old manager. Dude, they just don't appreciate the way that the game's played today, and they aren't adapting to change. And, that's a Marlins team that has a whole bunch of young talent and that you're going to have to manage a bit differently to get the potential out of. Like I said, they're a sneaky, scary team. They have 2 of the NL's top 10 best pitchers this year. Lopez and Alcantara are probably in the top 10 for National League best pitchers this year.
Oh, for sure.
And they're just not playing very well. If you got 2 starters on like that, you just got to light something up under that offense, and that really starts your manager too. So we're all obviously young guys in here, so we don't like the old heads.
Do I get to do the Central, Tim?
You can do the Central, buddy. What's going on in the Central, Nate?
Well, I mean, the Cardinals are in testing 1 2. This thing on. They're in first place, which I mean they've been playing somewhat.
The Cardinals.
They've been playing somewhat decent ball, but it's all because the Brewers are on a huge skid. The Brewers, who were killing and crushing with only a run differential of 5, by the way, which is insane. Which we know that it's their pitching, and we've talked about that. They've had a lot of 1-run games, but the Cardinals have done have had a lot of injuries as well. They've had guys step up, and they did take 2 out of 3 on the Reds, which last night I will say that the Cardinals were down by 3 runs, and they were down 2 outs, and Tyler O'Neill hit a clutch 2-run double in the 8th inning, and it was 4-3. They get a guy on second. Tommy Edman came up, who's not, obviously, if you know Tommy Edman, dude looks like he's 12 years old. He's extremely small. Came up to the plate, down to their last out, down to the last strike, and he hits one that went over the wall by about this much. By inch. I don't know if you saw it, but right at the end to win the game and beat the Reds. And then tonight it looks like they did fall short. 7-6 is what it looks like. But Cardinals are playing good baseball. They're starting to figure it out. I mean, they're not the Yankees, I guess, but hey, we're first.
One thing that I was thinking about too is a lot of times we've talked about the Cardinals, just being a notch below. Josh, you've talked about this a lot, being with the Cardinals. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to lose in the first round, maybe the second round. And it feels like they're not one of those superstar teams. And although I wouldn't say they're a superstar team this year, they're very well rounded, and they are playing like they have guys who are playing like superstars at every position right now. I was just going through the Cardinals stats here. Obviously, I'm a big stat nerd here, but you guys have 3 starters who have been fantastic. Miles Michaelis, a 2.93 ERA in 73 innings, a 1.06 WHIP. Wainwright's given up a lot of hits and walks, but he's only got a 2.84, so he's pitching out of danger very, very good. And then Dakota Hudson, he's been a guy who's been pretty surprising for you guys. He's a guy that, you guys have talked about for a while, being one of those guys that you hope to be at the top of your starting rotation.
Great 2020. He was injured in 2021, and they didn't know if he would get back to that same.
But it's just one of those guys who came into the year as a question mark. As a guy you weren't sure what you were going to get from him, if you were going to get dominance, if you were going to get a guy who's going to get lit up, if he's going to get injured again. And, hopefully he stays healthy. But those 3 guys at the top of your rotation, they give you a chance to win every day. So you guys are you're working out with Hicks, seeing what you want to do with him. You got to get Matt's healthy. But there's just some Flaherty. Of those guys, man.
We're getting Flaherty back.
And you're getting Flaherty back. And then that Liberatore guy, I mean, he got lit up in one of his starts. One or two of his starts, but he's a rookie, and he's a guy that could develop into a guy you guys use in the postseason as a long inning relief, or a guy that you need to bring in for an inning to get a different type of look out there, because that's what they do a lot of times with these young starters. The Yankees did it with Garcia last year or 2 years ago, and it worked pretty good for them. But yeah, your starting pitchers are looking really good. And another thing, your guys' bullpen, you have 3 guys who can come in and close the door on any given night.
Oh, I was going to say, I think Helsley now is like even better than Josh Hader in the season, since Hader blew a game, or he might have blew 2 games this week. I mean,
Helsley
not better than, but Helsley
he's like your Clay Holmes. Came into this year as a guy who's going to be part of your bullpen, but he's the best guy in your bullpen right now, and it's not even close. I mean, Gallegos has had a good year. He's given up some games there, but I mean, he's pitched pretty good this year. Cabrera, he's been pretty good too. I mean, he's only got 8 walks on the year. A guy that is known for kind of being wild with it, and he's been a lot better. He's has a .94 WHIP. I mean, something that I really look at for a reliever, how often they're getting in and out of trouble. So I mean, you guys got Gallegos, Helsley, and Cabrera, those guys, and then you have those 3 in your starting rotation. Your pitching is pretty good, man. If you guys can go out in the trade deadline and go get an arm or 2, you guys can make a pretty deep run.
Yeah, don't count on that.
No, I knew I was going to get Josh there. But then obviously your lineup is fantastic. You guys are very fast. You guys defend very well. You guys are hitting very well as well. I mean, you got Paul Goldschmidt, who's probably, right up there with the NL MVPs.
This came to an end. It was 25-game hitting streak where he went 42 for 99. He was batting .424, I think, the last 6 or 7 weeks. He was batting .424. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It was going insane.
Well,
it came to an end a couple days ago. It might have been versus the Cubs over the weekend. I don't remember when it was, but Goldschmidt was the hottest hitter in baseball for definitely a while. He was insane, dude.
Yeah, and looking at it too, you guys know OPS is, right? Yeah, obviously on base plus slugging percentage. Yeah. That's something I really, really look at to determine how well a player is. And this year, they kind of deadened the baseballs, I think. And the average OPS for the average hitter is 702. The Cardinals have 6 players who have an above average OPS on the year. So you have 6 guys who can come in there and 3 of them are rookies too. Your regular guys, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Edman, but Yepez, Gorman, and Donovan, those guys are hitting very well too. Obviously, Gorman hasn't had as many at-bats as some of the other guys. Those guys are raking right now, and you guys can hit. You guys can steal bases. You guys can hit for power. You can hit for average. And
we lead pitch. I think we lead in stolen bases, honestly. I think.
I think you do.
Yep. We've been stealing bases all the time.
That real quick. No, you are second. Texas Rangers are first, but you're first in the National League.
That might have been what it was. I knew we
second in the National League is the Cubs. So, but they can't do anything really but steal bases. So, the Cardinals, you guys look really good, and I think the Brewers are going to start faltering here, like they have been, and I think you guys can make a big little run here and start taking off the division. Like you said, the Cardinals, they've been playing okay, but they haven't really been on a tear here recently. The Brewers just haven't been playing good. And you guys are 5-5 in your last 10, but the Brewers are 2-8. So if you guys just have a really good week or two, you could have a 5-game lead in the division.
We got
and this
swept.
Looks completely different.
That's what really hurt us by the Rays, right? Yeah, the Rays swept us at the beginning of the week this week, which
that didn't help my Yankees, but we don't really need the help. 8.5 in front of them.
Yeah, there we go.
Help it all day.
And then we already talked about the National League West here, but the Dodgers are 37-23, but the Padres are half game back. Padres are on their heels, and they're about to catch them because did you guys see the unfortunate news for the Dodgers? Walker Buehler is going to be shut down, I believe, for 2 months or so. He had some elbow tightness, I think is what it was. Obviously, Walker Buehler's probably top 5 National League pitcher, probably not even close, and he's one of the best pitchers in the sport. And for that guy to go down, this really opens up an opportunity for the Padres because Tatis is going to come back soon and you guys are going to really make a run here. And that division is going to be a lot of fun to watch. So going to keep our eyes on that for sure. A lot of good stuff going on in baseball. And
that's just crazy to think, though, dude. Padres are playing this good and Tatis ain't even in
I
there
know.
yet.
The John Moran effect?
I don't know about all
I mean,
that.
Hey, let's hope not for the Padres.
You could put Tatis in basketball, any sport, he's better than John Morant. But
here we go.
Tatis is probably he's probably one of those athletes though that like they say, okay, pick an athlete to play a triathlon, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, who can play football, who can play baseball, who can play basketball, who can run track, that kind of thing. Tatis is one of those guys in baseball. Is probably a top 5 pick in that for sure. So. Yeah. He's a
no,
crazy
but
athlete.
that really is crazy to think about. I can't wait for him to get back.
For sure. But speaking of basketball, we are going to move on to the NBA Finals. We haven't seen a game since Friday, and what do they play tomorrow night? Right? Game 5 is tomorrow night. Curry went off in Game 4, but I'm kind of past Game 4 now, and I'm kind of calling it a clean slate. It's a best of 3. What happened in this series before doesn't matter now. How bad Jason Tatum has shot, or how inconsistent Draymond's been, or all these headlines that they have out there, or Curry's injury. None of that really matters now. All that matters is who can win 2 games in a 3-game set. It's 2-2. It's the best of 3. And who does this favor? I mean, there's two in Golden State, but it's each team has taken 1 away and 1 at home. So I don't think home court doesn't really do a whole lot. I think if anybody's got a real home court advantage, it's probably Boston, the way that their fans were reacting to the Warriors. So I don't know, though. I think that I don't think it really matters, honestly, at this point. At this point, it doesn't. I kind of look at it as neutral site. These guys can win at home and away. And it's really a very even series, man. It really is a clean slate.
Yeah. So, but it's just like, with the way the Warriors are playing at home, coming in, like all playoffs, to be honest with you, because I'm pretty sure before the finals they were undefeated at home. No, they're like 9-0 or something like that. So I mean, if you're in the, I don't know, man. It's just, I still have the Celtics to win.
Boston had a better record away than they did at home.
Yeah,
still got the Celtics winning. I think I have the Celtics winning.
I do too.
I can see the Celtics winning the next 2 games. I said in 6, so I mean I need them to win the next 2 games. But
I still got the Warriors, but I don't think any one of us is off here. You know what I mean? I don't think really anybody truly. Oh yeah, one team's looked better than the other because they haven't.
I mean,
we all said its own storyline.
We said this before the finals even started. Like it's going to be close and it's going to go deep. So I mean,
and I don't think anything that happens in Game 5 is going to correlate to what happens in Game 6. These are like little mini series each game. That's like it doesn't carry over. We talked about Josh, you and I talked with Lavion on Thursday night about how the Warriors got out-muscled, outplayed, out-rebounded and everything in Game 3. And then Game 4, they come in and they smoked the Celtics. Out-rebound them, out-muscle them, everything.
And everything we were talking about, they legit did the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They went smaller with
their
starting.
Yeah, they watched
so these guys don't know what they're talking about. So
right,
I don't know.
Like they literally like there's no way to predict, and that's what makes this so much fun, man.
It's nuts, man.
But the storylines and everything that's happening, I think it's a lot of fun to watch. But I think the one theme is Curry is going to have to continue to play very well for them to win.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been. And did you guys see the stat? I think Curry's going to continue to wear purple shoes. Did you guys see he's 3-0 in the finals when he wear purple shoes?
No, I didn't see that.
Stats that exist but don't matter, as John Boy Media says. 3-0 in purple shoes, and they brought that up to Curry, and he just laughed at them. And he goes, well, now I think you jinxed it. So I think we got to see, what Draymond does and what Tatum does. Tatum's had some shooting woes, but he's been a much better passer. We got to see who the closer is for the Celtics.
I've heard Andrew Wiggins, and I've seen some stuff. Obviously, I didn't get to watch the game 4 or 3. I saw a little bit of game 3. The game 4, and I saw that Andrew Wiggins has posed some problems to JT, which, I mean, Andrew Wiggins is extremely long. I mean, he's a good defender, but it looks like to me, it's like when Jason Tatum is a leading scorer for the Celtics, they're not winning, but when they can get other people involved, like Jaylen Brown, that's the games that they're winning, which is interesting. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, Wiggins is a great defender, and yeah, I mean, we knew they were going to focus on Tatum. We've had this talk before. It's kind of rinse repeat with it, but we'll see, man. I mean, it's like it's a whole new series. One thing I did want to go over though is I want us to kind of get into the betting lines of Game 5. I want us to kind of put a little fun in it. You know what I mean? We can't just say, oh, I think the Celtics are going to win, or I think the Warriors are going to win. And so I looked up some of the betting lines. Obviously, we're not betting on this, but we are going to make our predictions based off of the Vegas lines here. The Warriors are favored to win this game by 3.5 points. Do you guys both have the Celtics covering that, winning the game? Well, they don't even have to win. They can just lose by 3 or less. You guys have the Celtics.
Where's it at? I mean, it's
in Golden State. In Golden State, and they're favored by 3.5.
I got the Celtics.
I mean, I'm
and I'm going to take the Celtics to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but I think it might be a 1 or 2 point game.
What's Curry projected to have?
That's what I was just about to say next. So Curry's over-under is at 31.5 points.
I'm taking the under. I think Celtics are going to shut him down, or at least attempt to, but make him a focus of.
Okay. I don't know. The way he's playing, man. What did he have last game again?
41 or something.
43, wasn't it?
I had it pulled up for a second. Yeah, 43. He had 43 last game.
Let me look at this real quick before I make my predictions.
Yeah, 31.5 is the line. So I think that it's going to be 43.
And 31. I'll take the over. I'll go over.
I'm going to go under with Nate, but I think that they're
I don't know, just the way he feeds off the crowd at home. And he had 43 and then 31 in his last 2 games.
Yeah, but I mean, his most points was away. So, but again, I mean, I think he's hot.
That is true. But
he might stay hot, but he's also one of those guys that he's not really streaky in a game, but he's not a streaky series type guy. You know what I mean? He's going to just stay hot for 7 games. Like he's just a great shooter. So if he's not on for the night, the next night he might be able to hit 10 threes in a row. So I don't really know, but I am going to take the under on that one. There's the Clay line. Clay, his over-under is at 19.5 points. So basically, is he going to score 20 or is he going to not? What are you guys thinking there? I'm going to take the over. I got a big Clay game coming. Game 5 Clay.
I think it's game 6 Clay, but
it is. But in game 5 against Dallas, he went off.
Nah, so I'm going the under on that.
Clay. I'm going under as well.
Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking, he's gonna play well, and we'll see. I think they really need him to. Tatum,
they definitely need him, but I got Tatum having a big game.
Over under 26.5 is what his line set at.
Over.
Josh,
I got a 30+ point game out of Tatum. I think he's about to turn it on. He knows that. He's got to play better than what he did last game, that's for sure.
I'm going to take the over on this one.
He's
as
already
well.
vowed. He's already vowed to us that he's going to bounce back than his 30% that he shot.
You know what? I'm gonna go over too. He's already dropped 26 and shot poorly in that game. Still dropped 26, but
yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to shoot very well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over on that too.
Only 27 is all he needs. What about Brown? Over under 23.5.
I got over as well, man. I think Tatum's about to turn it up, man. I'm telling you.
Well, we're talking about Brown.
Tatum and Brown. That's what I'm saying. I got them both going out. So I was looking at Tatum's name.
No, you're good.
But I know you're talking about Brown.
I'm going to take the under on this, but I think it's going to be like 22 or 23.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I still think he's going to have a good game, but I don't know if it's going to be over 24.
But they don't need him to be 30 point
I don't
guy
know.
if Tatum's dropping 30 points. So, Nate,
Yeah.
you're let's see, you're over. No, you took a couple unders there. But yeah, Nate, you're expecting a big game from the Celtics here, huh?
I'm expecting a big game. Hey, what was it when Tatum, wasn't it like game 6? Tatum had his 43-point. It was either game 5 or game 6. Dude had 43-point masterpiece against the Bucks. And in like a 2-game stretch, he had like 85 points or maybe it was like 82 points or something like that. Like, he basically showed that he was the best player on the floor, even though he was on the floor with Giannis Antetokounmpo. And basically,
he was definitely the best player those nights for sure.
And then the same thing against the Heat. He averaged 30 points and 10 rebounds in the last 2 games against the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, when is Tatum going to show up and show us that he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's only a matter of time.
I'm ready for it. I'm hoping he does.
Yeah. Don't get me started. We'll see. Prove me wrong, Jason. Prove
I'm
me
hoping so.
wrong.
Come on, JT. Hey, I saw something else too that said a lot of people are giving grief about Smart winning Defensive Player of the Year since Curry's kind of been cooking him. So was that just show like how good Curry is, or are we like doubting Smart's defensive ability?
No, Smart is an outstanding defender, and Curry is just that good at what he does. Like,
you're not. If you play the Warriors and if you think one guy's going to be able to clamp down Steph Curry, you never watch them play because they play an offense where it's just going to be screen, get the mismatch, and get Curry an open shot, but not open. You know what I mean? Like he gets the ball and he can release it. Is what I mean.
We don't need to be open, but
so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Curry's one of the best off-ball players that people say. Just the things that he does.
Well, the miles that he runs during games is insane. The movement, and he's always moving. He's never standing there. And that's the type of player he is. And so for you to have to guard that and get screened 3 times in a set before Curry even touches the ball, it's not like you can have Smart guard him as the ball's coming down, but he's not going to end up being the one guarding him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. It's not like he's doing ISO ball and Curry's taking it at the rim.
Just cooking him. Yeah.
I heard you guys talking too about Green. Should they sit Green? And I think I turned it on when you guys were talking with Lavi on. I watched it Thursday or Friday. I don't remember when I was that I kind of watched a little bit here and there. Maybe it was Saturday, maybe later after game 4. But game 4, they started Looney, who had a great game. It was playing extremely well, and I think that's why Kerr said that he didn't have Draymond come in the 4th when he usually does or something.
Yeah, when in the 4th they took him out with 7 minutes to go, and it was like a 5-point game or something like that, and he didn't get really inserted back into the game until like a minute and a half left, and that was only to substitute him on defense. It wasn't like they were putting him in for a stretch. They were like, okay, we're on defense. We're going to call a timeout after this, so we can put Draymond out there to play defense, and then when offense comes, we're going to take him out. And that's not a way you can play a basketball game, man. Like you can't be a one-sided player like that. It's better. We see those players be a one-way player on offense only, but they're making an impact on the scoreboard. A defensive player, I mean, he's a liability on offense. They don't even have to, but he's not. Yeah. I mean, he's rebounding okay, but he's not locking down anybody. He's not playing the pesky defense like he used to.
How many rebounds did he have in this last game? Because I was about to say they won before. He only had 4 or something.
Well, yeah, Looney had. Well, we talked about it. Looney had like 7 or 8 rebounds and only played like 18 minutes or something like that. Let's see what they play Friday.
Yeah.
Box score. Let's see. Draymond Green had 9. He had 9 rebounds in 33 minutes. 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals.
That's one of his better games, even though he scored 2.
For sure, he shot 1 for 7.
Yeah.
But
he's always trying to make an impact, though. He is shooting 20% from the field. That's terrible.
Yeah, insane. And I think, something like that is to light a fire under him. I mean, they do need that rebounding from Looney. Looney had 11 rebounds in 28 minutes. Like, he's out there to go grab rebounds.
Yeah.
And I think Green kind of knew that this was probably going to happen. He said he was kind of surprised about it. And, but all he can do is, just stick with it and stick with his team and do what he needs to do and play when he's out there. But I think it did light a fire under him, and it's going to make him probably play smarter. And I don't know, just lock the guy in the gym until he starts making shots or something, man. I don't know. But he's looked pretty horrible.
Be in there a while.
To shoot that ball. Yeah, no joke. I think that I could probably beat him in a game of Around the World right now.
Yeah, I just feels like that he's got, I don't know, he's just kind of shook. I mean, from what I've seen, he's always getting into, little scuffs with the Celtics players, the referees, the fans are getting to him. And, and usually he kind of like can put his impact on the series in a way. And I mean, obviously he's doing some things, but it just seems like that, I don't know, they're probably better off keeping him on the bench, keeping him well rested for his podcast the next day so that he's not,
and one thing I kind of thought of, and I'm not sure if I said this on the podcast on Thursday or not, but I was thinking about this. He kind of tries to play that Patrick Beverley type role where like, hey, I'm going to be scrappy.
Yeah.
The Patrick Beverley role where he's scrappy. He's trying to light a fire under the team.
That's
not your role, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be that guy. You can be that enforcer, but you don't have to be the scrappy guy off the bench. That's not what you are. You're the defensive presence. You're the guy who's supposed to go out there and grab rebounds and kind of run the offense, not through him, but in him.
And Green at his best, he can run the offense. He can set screens. Right. He can set up plays.
Yeah.
He can pass. I've seen him make. And
Curry owes a lot of his success to Draymond Green in the past.
Yeah,
do the screens that he's able to do and the passes he's able to set him up with. Like, Draymond Green at his best is a good offensive player. He's never been a good shooter, but if you can just hit the little shots where they have to respect you, but he's not doing that, and that's why it changes everything. But we could talk about him all night. He's a guy who's a polarizing figure for sure. I do have one more line that I want to go over before we move on here. The game total over under is set at 212 points. Do you guys think that this is a high-scoring game or pretty low-scoring? So 212, so each team would have to score 106.
I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under, too.
Because, I mean, that last game we thought was probably high-scoring for the series. Curry had 43 points, and in that game, there was only 204 points.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's been crazy. I think the line's set kind of high on that. I'm going to go under on that as well.
They play tomorrow, and
there was 216 on their game on Wednesday. So
they play Thursday, so we'll be able to talk about the Monday night game Wednesday, and then they play Thursday.
Yep.
And then when's game 7? Saturday. Oh, it's not till Sunday. Good Lord.
Ooh, that'll be fun to be watching on stream if there's a game 7.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, we could even go live if everybody's available. We could go live at 7. That's when the game starts, and just kind of go through it, talk it, or we could wait till later so we can talk about the end of it. Either one, we'll talk about that. But that'll be kind of cool to see. A lot of fun to watch there. But we taking under on this then?
Yeah,
I'm taking under.
Yeah, I'm going to take under as well. But we can see, man. But we are going to move on to Josh's favorite topic here. Move on to the NHL real quick before we hop off here. Actually, we'll do one more segment after this. But the hockey playoffs are down to the Stanley Cup Finals. Last night, the Rangers did bow out to the Lightning in 6 games. But I think if anybody said that at the beginning of the year, the Rangers were going to take the Lightning to 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think most people probably wouldn't have believed you. The Rangers had a fantastic year. They really, towards the end, and I think that they just had a lot of fatigue, and they just straight up weren't the better team of the two. They've played 2 7-game series back to back, and now they're, having to go play the team that's been the best team in hockey the last 3 years. And you're having to go play them in a 7-game series. Rangers 5-on-5 play was pretty bad. They had only scored 1 goal in the last 4 games, I think it was, on a 5-on-5, and they just couldn't get any power plays going. So, a team that's as disciplined as the Lightning don't make a lot of penalties, don't make a lot of mistakes. It's hard to score against them if you're a team that's not good at a 5-on-5, and the Rangers really just aren't. Tampa Bay was more crisp. They were sharper. They were deeper from top to bottom. They had that playoff experience, and they simply better. Vasilevsky played good, but Rangers just didn't get a whole lot of pressure on him, especially in Game 6. Igor gave up 2 goals, but he made some fantastic stops, and the defense for the Rangers was pretty poor. Couldn't get the puck out, and they were just in their own zone a lot. So it was tough. As a Rangers fan, I'm pretty sad, but I'm excited about what the future holds, and we'll be back. I think that Rangers are just starting to show what their potential is and to show how good they are. We really surprised a lot of people this year. So, Nate, you got any words to cheer me up?
Really, it's the exact opposite. I was going to say you guys have a lot of unrestricted free agents in Cop, Vetrano, Mott, Rooney, Braun, Strome. So hopefully we can get some of those guys signed so you can. But
no. not a lot of guys that are super key players. We have our 2 lines. Vetrano was good, but that line was Zibanejad really and Kreider.
I like Vetrano. He's great.
Yeah, but that line is Kreider and Zibanejad. I think you put anybody on that third with them, and they played well. Those two just play so well together, and we have a kid line too.
Yeah, me and you has talked about their 5-on-5 hockey, how they've kind of struggled and relied on their, power play. But the Lightning, I think they played extremely smart. I mean, Kucherov, they're a great team. And you got guys such as Zib and Fox that have carried you. Both had 8-game point streaks going into Game 4, and then either one didn't even get a point in the rest of the series after Game 3. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, and then Panarin was also shut out in Games 5 and 6, you even said that pre-stream.
He played pretty poorly, I think. And he's one of those guys who I think when he's at his peak, he's probably the most talented guy on the team. But he just really didn't show it to me during the playoffs.
You're talking about being weary, and I think Gallant even said that, you guys play 20 games in 40 days. Hockey's an extremely physical sport. And,
our only back-to-back off day was between, I believe, the first series and the second series. After we beat the Penguins, I think we had 2 days off in a row and then played the Hurricane. That was our only back-to-back days off in the last 40 days. So they obviously were pretty fatigued, pretty tired, and it kind of showed. But like I said, they just weren't the best team. And and I asked you, Nate, to give me some words to cheer me up, and then you go out and tell me that my team's got some unrestricted free agents. So
I'll give you this to cheer you up. Shesterkin looked extremely well. The problem is he just didn't get enough help. Honestly, I think he looked good. You should be excited for him next year and what he'll bring to the team. But I think that Vasilevsky just proves, dude's a beast, and the whole team Lightning was amazing. Their defense, they just was too much for the Rangers to handle. And whether it was fatigue, whatever it was, I thought the Lightning would win just based out of probably fatigue, because we went into it saying, hey, the Lightning just swept. The Rangers went to another Game 7 with Hurricanes, which one's going to prevail. But I wasn't thinking so much that, but also experience as well. And I think Vasilevsky's extremely good, and he can win you a game even if the team defense doesn't show up. I think the Lightning did, and the Rangers just didn't play good offense 5-on-5. And when you have Vasilevsky, it's like you got to get people in front of him. You got to get physical and
just multiple shot attempts. You're not going to beat him on the first one or the second one. You've got to get rebounds and some ones where he's got to make that split-second decision.
Yeah, you just got to make it hard.
He's obviously very good at, but
you got to make it hard for him. Yeah, you got to make it difficult especially for a top guy. And even Shesterkin did really well. But the Rangers threw a lot at Shesterkin, and dude made a lot of great plays to keep him in those games. But and you said, how many games? Did they lose right at the final 5 minutes, 6 minutes?
It's just because the Lightning just went on that push, and the Rangers couldn't get him out of their zone for the last 5 minutes of the games. They were just in our face. The only reason why the Rangers even scored in the third period was because we were on the power play. And the Rangers were kind of a one-trick pony, when it comes to scoring, just power play only. And like I said, the Lightning did make a lot of mistakes. So how do you get on the power play if there's no penalties? So I don't know. And I think that, you said we do have some unrestricted free agents, and some of those guys have been key to us this year, but nothing that's been, those are none of our top players, honestly. Vetrano, I don't think we'll be able to re-sign him or Kopp, but they were good mid-season pickups for us. Mott was really good for us too. And we're going to have some guys that are restricted free agents that we're going to have to pay, like Capo Caco. I believe he's a restricted free agent. We got a couple of guys that we're going to have to look at, but I think that the core of our team's still there. We have a lot of leadership that's still there, and I think that we're only going to get better from here. So I'm excited. But I do want to say the Lightning are playing. Yeah. The Lightning and the Avalanche are playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. The series starts Wednesday at 7 p.m. Each team will have a few days rest.
Turn into any Stanley Cup Final, bud?
Do what?
Are you going to turn into any Stanley Cup Final games, eh?
On
ABC, man. I mean,
you might catch a couple games, right?
I mean, it's on ABC, so it's not.
I'll tell you this
night,
right now.
It's not on any night there's NBA final. So
once I get a little indication, a little notification on my phone, like close game alert or whatever, then I'll tune in. But until then,
you see your notifications?
Sometimes when I'm not busy, I assume. So
I thought Josh broke his phone, man.
Depends if he's golfing or not,
Yeah.
Josh's Wi-Fi messes up every time I text him, guys. So I just want you guys to know that.
It's just I lose my phone quite frequently. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see how it is. Yeah,
Avalanche. The Avalanche are 12-2 in the playoffs, and the only 2 games they lost were against the Blues. So hey, we'll take that. Ain't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. But they haven't. I mean,
they've swept 2 series, man.
You're telling me you think they're going to beat the Lightning?
I got Avalanche in 5.
In 5? You think Vasilevsky's going to lose 4 games and only going to win 1?
I think Avalanche are that good, bud.
Yeah, I don't even watch hockey, mate. But when you're like predicting series, like in any sport, you don't give yourself a lot of room for error, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's something that I respect.
But I'm usually spot on.
I mean, that is true. Yeah, but I don't.
There's a lot of
not when it
sports
comes to hockey.
I mean, you guessed the Rangers going, but I had Lightning beating the Rangers here, and I had Avalanche.
I think if we want to pull up the stats on the year, that's the second series I've lost. So I'm like 12-2 or something like that. I think you're like 9-4.
I mean, obviously, I picked the Blues too because I want them to win. But I mean,
I picked the Rangers because I wanted.
But
them
I
to
did
win.
say picking the Blues that I said I think the Avalanche are going to win this team, but I can't pick against my team, so I'm going to have to say the Blues.
I said the Rangers are going to win, but if I wasn't a fan of them, I probably would have picked the Lightning. So we can do this round and round. My team just made it further than yours, so
I mean the Lightning have
get used to that
for the same
reason.
The
Super Bowl, and that's all you got.
The same reason the Lightning beat the Rangers. The Lightning are now the more tired team. Have played like 8 or 9 more games than the Avalanche.
Well, yeah, but they were coming off a 4-game sweep the round before. And they're about to have 3 days rest. They played on Saturday, and now they don't play till Wednesday. So I don't think fatigue's really going to matter anymore.
Yeah, but
a 6-game series versus a 4-game series, and in which they won the last 4 games and didn't have a whole lot of pressure from the Rangers in those 4 games. I wouldn't say it's the same type of fatigue the Rangers had. The Rangers had a fight and claw for every game that they won. The Lightning kind of had it easy the last 4 games. They were losing in game 3, and then boom, they came back, won that game, and just absolutely stomped on us in the next 3.
Same thing happened to the Bruins and Blues in 2019. The Bruins swept the East Final to go to the Stanley Cup and waited 12 days to play almost 2 weeks to play the Blues, who went 7 games against the Stars, and the Blues ended up beating them in 7 games.
They always give a little bit of rest, though, before the Stanley Cup Final starts, so that fatigue maybe will wear off some. So I'm picking the Lightning, though. I think that they're going to three-peat it. I watched them in action against the Rangers, which Rangers obviously were the inferior team, but I think that things the Lightning can do both offense and defensively, and they have the best goalie in the series, without a doubt. So I think that it's going to be a good series, but I got the Lightning in 6. I got them taking it in 6 games, and but we're gonna see. We'll see what they have. We'll see see how they're gonna look. I mean, like I said, I think they're the best team though. And
They're 2-0.
who's the Avalanche? Are they gonna start Darcy Kemper? Is he still hurt, or is it gonna be Francouz or whatever?
I think it might be a little bit of both from what I saw. It could be a little. Might see a little bit of both.
I mean, you might need against the Lightning, but Vasilevsky, man, he is locked in.
Avalanche are so nasty, man.
They both are, man. These teams are stacked. I mean, honestly, there's probably a lot of playoff predictors who had these two going against each other in the final. You know what I mean? Like the Lightning weren't the top team in the East this year, but everybody knew what they were. You know what I mean? They kind of coasted into the playoffs and turned it on. And the Avalanche have been the best team in the West. So those two, I mean, I think you really could have predicted this and saw it probably at the first of the year or even throughout the middle of the year. So it's going to be good. Josh, you're going to throw out a random pick here?
Yeah, I'm going to go Lightning.
You go three-peat with me?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We're going to do three-peat for the Lightning here. So Nate goes Avalanche. Jay, Tim, go Lightning.
Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? We're just going to disagree with you?
Come on, man.
Nate, I know nothing about hockey, bro.
We're really going to get an argument about this?
Literally, I'm going with the Lightning just for the sake of the three-peat. That's legit it. Like, how can you root against that? Like, that in any sport, that's insane.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and Josh, I will tell you this.
Third championship. They
Lightning won last night. Their captain scored both their goals.
Yeah, he's nasty.
He scored both goals for them. And,
but I think Kucherov is their best player, and he's the most important player.
He is. But just another storyline, in a Game 6, a game that, they wanted to win so they wouldn't have to go back to New York and play Game 7 in New York. And their captain scores 2 goals and carries them to a win 2-1. So
he's a captain for a reason.
Yep. But we do want to hit on one more thing. We haven't talked a whole lot about this. But the USFL started, and the three of us kind of agreed that we would all pick the same team so that we can have the same team finally. All be fans of one team. And we picked the Generals in the USFL, the New Jersey Generals, who are 8-1, boys. Yeah. We did something right here. 8-1. They're nasty. This dude, Darius Victor, looks like he can't get tackled by anybody. This guy is he's crazy.
That guy, I've almost watched every single game that they played.
I've been watching all the highlights.
And that guy is an absolute nasty truck, dude. Like, just some of this, like, up the middle, it don't matter where this guy's running. It's going to take 3-4 guys to bring him down. Like, the guy's only 5, I think, like 5'8", something like that.
I was gonna say, dude looks short for sure,
but he is he's a stud, dude.
Yeah, we're leading the league in rushing yards per game because of him. Yeah. And our special teams is really good. Our kick return average and our punt return average. They had that punt return touchdown. Was that Turpin, right? He had the punt return touchdown. And we lead the league in yards per game. Our offense is just really good, and we just run the ball very well. And,
yep, best running offense in the league. And I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning, I didn't really like what they were doing with the 2 quarterback thing, where they were bringing in Lopez and then Johnson, and literally they switch him out every single drive. Like, it don't matter if one does good the previous drive, they switch him in and out. And I didn't really like that, but starting to grow on me a little bit. And
one thing though that you kind of talk about with the team that's run heavy is you want to be able to control the ball, control the pace of the game. And so when you're a run heavy team, your quarterbacks can't turn over the ball. Yeah. And the Generals lead the USFL with the least amount of interceptions thrown. They only have 3 interceptions in 9 games. And they're, one of those teams that protects the ball and runs it very well. They got the 2-headed monster running the ball. I mean, obviously, Victor is our top guy. He's got 543 rushing yards, second in the league. But we also have Williams. He's got 465 rushing yards, and so they kind of switch those guys in and out a lot.
You can't forget about Johnson either.
Johnson too. Yep. Johnson,
Did you guys see?
277 rushing yards. He's
You know
got
what his
4
40
rushing
time
touchdowns.
is? 4.37
Jeez.
for a quarterback. That is nuts, bro.
Our main guy's got to be Turpin though. Dude's the best player in the whole league, I think. And the best player in the USFL right now is Kavonte.
Yeah, and he's just a guy you just sprinkle in there, let him run the ball some.
Dude's going to be on the NFL roster. Dude's going to be on
he had that punt return touchdown. He was nasty.
Like no doubt this dude's going to be on an NFL roster this year. No doubt.
Yeah. Well, that's what these guys are playing for, man. They're playing for this recognition. And they're not trying to obviously compete with the NFL. They're trying to show these guys can still play. They're trying to create a product in which we can watch football when the NFL is not running. And these guys can get the national spotlight. These are playing on some pretty big broadcasts. These are some pretty big games that the whole world's getting to see. And Turpin's, he's showing out. Yeah. He's one of the guys, and I think the Generals are probably going to have a couple guys picked off the roster to go play in the NFL, and that's what it's all about.
I'll be shocked if Victor don't get a chance either.
Right. Yeah.
Like that dude.
Kind of change of pace back, for a team that maybe has a good
and the dude still has breakaway speed for how big he is.
Yeah. But a team would bring him in if they have a smaller running back or a guy who doesn't run downhill as well, who maybe bounces outside. You imagine pairing him with someone like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
McCaffrey can do a lot of stuff receiving out of the slot, some draws.
Stallions got their first loss this week too.
It only took 9 weeks. Yeah,
they were 8-0. And they won. And then the Generals lost their first game and have won every game since. We shouldn't have lost that first game, honestly.
No, it was to the Stallions. Yeah, and we lost by, I think it was like 1 possession or something like that. So 1 touchdown. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think we picked a great team. We even picked this team before they drafted any of the players and anything like that.
We did. We were talking about, man, should we wait? And we're like, nah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And we were a little worried about the quarterback play. Like you said, you already talked about that, how they switch in and out. We were worried we maybe didn't get like super good quarterbacks. Looks like Michigan picked probably the best quarterbacks.
And they're the worst team. Yeah, they drafted Shane Patterson and Paxton Lynch, who have NFL experience, and they're one of the worst teams in the league. So,
yeah, they're 1-8.
Yeah, them and the Maulers.
The worst. Yeah.
It's I don't know, but the playoffs are going to be starting here in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
Week 10.
And we got the.
No, they start after this week, dude. This week's week 10. We play Saturday, June 18th at 11 a.m. We play the Stars. And then next week, June 25th, is the semifinals. So this is the last week. Yeah.
Sweet.
So we're gonna have the 1 seed.
We'll play the team in our division. We'll play the Stars, doubt.
Yeah. So sweet. And then on the other side, it's
Stars in week 10. So basically, we're going to play the Stars back to back.
Yeah. So, maybe we might
trap game.
Yeah. Maybe not give them that much to see. Maybe change up the game plan a little bit. Because even if we lose this, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The only way it would matter is if we won and the Stallions lost, then we would have the best record in the league. But they hold the tiebreaker over us anyway. So if we lose, it doesn't matter. We're still going to play the Stars and then probably play the Stallions.
And home field doesn't matter either because semifinals and championship are both in Canton, Ohio.
That's true. Yep,
they're both played they're all played in the same stadium.
So yeah, I would kind of expect us maybe to sit some guys, not play as aggressive with our game plan, and just see what the Stars have and go play them in the semifinal, kick their butt, and then go play whoever beats Stallions Breakers and win that too. And then we can finally all celebrate together.
Yes.
Which the Stars I'm happy for you guys when your guys' teams win, because obviously mine don't do a whole lot of winning. But the Rangers got close, and the Yankees are going to do it this year. But I celebrate with you guys. And Nate, you picked some pretty good football teams, bro. And Josh, even you do too, man. The Bills look like cream of the crop this year. Rams are right back at the top there too, and the Giants are nipping at their heels.
What is it, Nate? Like 80, 89 days or 88 days until we're not friends for like 3 hours or something like that. So
it's getting close. Yeah,
y'all are barely friends anyway. But
that's what you know.
Yeah, I know. You guys probably doing stuff without me. I mean, neither one of you really answer my text very well, but
we started our own group chat of people that can actually play Warzone, so that's what we have going.
Some of us got lives, man.
Oh,
I haven't even had no time to play, boy. But it takes a lot to be the producer, guys. You guys don't know anything about that, so I gotta set the schedule, do all the social media, send you guys out schedules, try to corral you two in. Have to text you guys 5 times each to figure out who's gonna be here, who's not. Improvise.
Lucky I found my phone, Tim. Jeez.
Yeah, hey, bro, where'd you drop it, man?
Oh, just in between the couch.
Shout out Seattle Surge for winning Major 3. I don't know if we already talked about that or not.
Huh?
Pretty sure you did. Yeah.
Oh, we already talked about that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last time you were on.
Couldn't remember.
Seattle Surge. Oh, yeah.
This man said, I saw the Seattle Surge, a little 3-prong logo.
I was like, is that a basketball team? I was like, is this women's basketball?
Is that a new live golf team? Seattle Surge. What is that?
Man, it's hard to keep track of everything, man.
It's all right, Tim. We know that you're not into the esports thing anymore. Your addiction's been broken.
Yeah, maybe I think it was God, man. I think he just cut me off, and
not by your choice, but
you know what? Sometimes you got to just take things away from your life, take away too much time. You know what I mean? Now my kid can read already. I've been able to spend more time with him. He's only 8 years old.
Guy.
He can read, walk, talk. He's already more intelligent than both of you. So
starting on the varsity baseball team already. So
yeah. He actually got a call to play in the Live League too. So we're doing good things over here in Quincy, Illinois. So, but boys, thanks for joining. We've had a lot of fun, man. It was good seeing you both in here, not having to mix and match, man. The OG crew. Nate, good luck with your endeavors, buddy. We'll see you Wednesday. Josh, please put a GPS device in your phone, maybe, or just change the notifications to where like mine pop up first, or like make it to where it's a nice little ringtone where you're like, oh yeah, it's my boy. But seriously, stop ghosting me. But boys, have a good night. Thanks everyone for joining us. Peace out. Go Bleacher Chicks, baby.